Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves is to Vox Machina what Dimension 20 is to Critical Role. That might sound really weird, but hopefully someone will know what I mean by that. One is a more serious, dark drama full of adventure, danger, romance, and heroics, while the other is a bunch of bumbling idiots stumbling through a campaign who then decide to not follow their DM's plan for the campaign and start doing their own thing halfway through, making the DM have to pivot to alter the house rules to accommodate the madness happening, and somehow against all odds, the party accidentally succeeds with the help of a few godly nat 20 rolls, as well as a few ones mixed in there for good measure. Can you guess which is which yet? Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves feels like a movie made by fans for fans. Thankfully, it's not a meta film about a bunch of players playing a game around a table, but the people and the heroes actually inside the world of D&D. However, they might as well be those idiots around the table from the shenanigans that happen here. This cast is so much fun to watch as they accidentally stumble their way to victory, and it genuinely feels like watching a party play D&D, just in a massively condensed time frame. I won't sit here and tell you that it is a great movie. The film's plot is nothing to write home about. You can guess every major plot point and twist. The characters overall are fine. Some shine in the movie and have wonderful arcs of growth, while others are just kind of there to do cool stuff. The villain is super fun to watch, but the twist BBEG just kind of is set dressing for the end fight, which overall, I'm okay with. I would rather that they focus on the fun aspects of this story because ultimately, this is an adventure about the fun of adventure. It's not a great movie, but it's a fun one. Like, a really fun movie. Like, I will be adding this movie to my collection and watching it an unhealthy amount of times fun. It's not a movie that was made for the Oscars, it's a movie that was made for the fans. It's lovingly made. It's so nice to see the D&D property given to people who actually care about making a good D&D movie. Chris Pine is an absolute standout and really glues the whole movie together. He truly embodies the role of the bard perfectly in this movie. Smooth talking his way through just about any situation and keeping the ragtag group together with his ridiculous schemes. You couldn't nitpick and say, oh, he didn't cast this, or oh, he didn't cast that. I don't care. Chris Pine is a bard. He just is. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him cast in more roles like this one moving forward because he crushes it, and he was so enjoyable in this movie. Michelle Rodriguez plays the badass gruff female warrior who can take on whole legions by herself, and normally I'm not a huge fan of this archetype of character, just the all brawn, no brains, but here it works, and she's pretty charming in her role in her own way. Plus, the way that she bounces off of Chris is perfectly done, and a highlight scene for me personally was definitely their first escape from Forge. Who, speaking of, I love Hugh Grant. I adore him. And you could tell he had so much fun playing the pompous Weasley conman in this movie, and he plays it so well. I mean, he's not really villainous or like a villain so much as he's just greedy. I don't know. But what I do know is that I love Forge's character, and I think Hugh does a wonderful job bringing him to life. As for the other characters here, they're fine. They're more so along for the ride here and to do cool stuff, which again, I don't mind, mainly because of how creative the movie is. Also, wild shaping into an owlbear is incredibly cool, and it made me laugh so hard at points, so screw your authenticity. It's the same way that I feel about homebrew and house rules. Sorry, side tangent. The movie's plot is basically a series of challenges that the party needs to find creative ways to solve. And creatively find solutions is indeed what they do. The amount of love, care, and attention that went into every encounter cannot be understated here. From fleeing from a pudgy little dragon who I just adore. I need a plushie of this thing ASAP. to pulling off a heist, to stopping the end of the world, every situation our heroes get thrown into doesn't end predictably. And because of that fact, it's just so enjoyable to watch them problem solve their way through them. It's refreshing to watch, and it keeps you on your toes and laughing the whole way. Which, the humor here is spot on for this type of film. I found the jokes landing more often than not, and there's a lot of dry wit here on display, which I love. It's a movie that's very reminiscent to old family-friendly fantasy films like Princess Bride. Is this the best movie of the year? No. Hell, it's probably not even the best action movie this year. But I can already tell that it's going to be one of my all-time favorites just because of how enjoyable of a movie it was to watch. I chuckled, laughed, and giggled the entire movie and had such a great time getting swept away that by the end of it, all I wanted was more. This movie is the closest thing we've seen to how it feels to play D&D with a bunch of your friends. Starting out on a noble quest, getting distracted, ignoring the DM trying to get you back on track and getting yourself into ridiculous situations, problem solving your way out in the most creative game-breaking ways possible, and all along the way, forging friends, making memories, and most of all, sharing laughs and having fun. Which is kind of what it's all about. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves may not be the best movie ever made or the best movie of the year, but it might just be the most fun, which makes it perfect in my eyes. Thank you so much for watching this video. You just being here supports the channel, but if you want to support the channel more, then you can go ahead and check out the Patreon. There'll be a link down below as well as up in the top right hand corner. Patreon is just a way that I can give back to people who want to support the channel by giving them videos that are edited in ways that I can't upload to YouTube because of copyright bots. If you're interested, there will be a link down below, and again, thank you for watching the video. Special thank you to Ian Etzep, Gabe Helmuth, Mustafa Rond, Mafnar, and Brandon Roy, who are all pledged at the executive level over on Patreon. Again, if you're interested in the Patreon, there'll be a link down below.